thank God, because they chased me out of there. They was trying to kill me. Y'all, they tried to kill me. So anything happened to me, y'all know they tried to kill me today. So I just grabbed my phone. I was like, so I jump in, start running. I done jump back in my car. Remember I told you I parked up by the door, right? So I get in my fucking car. And as I'm backing out, I'm like, hey, you motherfuckers, y'all better come up off some money. Y'all be talking that big money and shit. Give me a couple of bands or something now. I say, if you don't cash at me in the next hour, I'm telling the whole city what the fuck's going on.
On February 17, 2020, a woman by the name of Janae out of Indianapolis took to social media to make an exposed video alleging a man that she had previously been intimate with was with another man. Now, she took to social media and basically said she had left the house, came back, and found this man being intimate with another man, and since they didn't pay her to be quiet, she was going to expose them.
We were doing some business, me and this dude. Now, I'm going to tell you, he did give me some head way back a long time ago. Long time ago, I was doing some business with this nigga, right? Hold on. I grabbed what I came to get or whatever. He's like, come on over here to my uncle's house or whatever. Boom. Familiar with your uncle's house. Had been over there before once or twice or something like that. You know what I mean? So I had grabbed whatever, but I'm in a rush because I got to get back to the shop or whatever, you know, or whatnot. So, boom. I'm riding down the street. I'm damn near to the tire shops on 16th Street. I'm like, I don't have my phone. So I start calling my phone. And I start calling his phone, and wasn't nobody answering on my shop phone. I got a little flip. That's my shop phone, right? So, girl, yeah. So I'm on my little shop flip phone, and I'm like, boom, calling my cell phone, calling his phone. Ain't want nobody answer. So I'm like, damn. So now I done got back over there. I done parked right up by the front door, though. Thank God, because they chased me out of there. They was trying to kill me. Oh, my God. My stomach hurts. My stomach hurts. When I walked in there, y'all, what I seen with my own two eyes. Hold on. Thank God my phone was sitting on the table right there by the door. I swung that door, but I said, oh. And I couldn't even talk the words. The words. I couldn't get the words out of my mouth, right? So I'm like, I'm trying to breathe. I'm like, and I just looked down and see my phone. I snatched my phone. I said, if you don't cash at me in the next hour, I'm telling the whole goddamn city what the fuck's going on. I told him just cash at me 5 bands. That's all. Shit, you in a $50,000 truck. I can't get 5 bands.
This video where she exposed all of these things took place on February 17th, and by 9:30 a.m., Janae would be pronounced dead. Now, it was said that she was shot twice in the head, and then she tried to get away in her vehicle, to which she hit another car, and then was later pronounced dead at the hospital.
RTD6's Cameron Riddle is live at 30th Street and Lafayette Road, where the crash happened, with what we are learning tonight. Cameron.
Well, good evening. Late this afternoon, we have learned that police are now asking for the public's help in putting the pieces back together after one woman was killed and a man was injured after what ended in a crash here at 30th and Lafayette Road, but may have started as a shooting. IMPD officers were actually in the area when this all began, and they tell us they actually heard multiple gunshots and then the crash.
Police would not confirm some details of the investigation, but witnesses here at the scene tell us the driver of this yellow Camaro was speeding down Lafayette and slammed into this blue car. Police believe the woman inside the Camaro had been shot before the crash.
Now, once social media got wind that she had been a person who had exposed these gentlemen the night before, and then just hours into the morning, she was now pronounced dead, a lot of people start pointing fingers at the man who she exposed. Now, before she went on live, she also paired her expose with some posts on social media where she called him a gay bird. She posted his pictures and she basically told everybody exactly who she was talking about, and everybody in Indianapolis was now alerted as to who this individual was. The video had gone viral, and at that point, as far as anybody knew, the case was closed. She went live the night before. She exposed him. She said that she caught him doing hanky-panky with another man. And the next morning, she's deceased. A lot of people was like, listen, 1 + 1 = 2. If she exposed him, then that must mean that he did it. Well, the story found itself a little more complicated than that when I was reached out by one of her closest friends. Now, the person reached out to me and they basically did not feel right with the narrative that was being put out. They were like, listen, I know her. I've been friends with her for a very long time. I also know the man involved, and I am very, very close friends to, not only her, but her closest friends as well. And they were like, listen, what people think happened on social media is not what really happened. So I talked to them on the phone. We had several conversations going back and forth, laying down the goings-ons that went on. And I'm going to give you guys the spiel a little bit later, but let me just go through the update. So they were like, listen, what's being told is not what it is. And y'all know me. I'm like, well, do you have proof that you were close in any type of way? How can I take your word for it? They're like, listen, I will give you my password to Facebook. You can go on my Facebook. You can go in my messages. You can see that I was friends with her. You can see our messages back and forth. And you can also see the videos that she has that are not available to the public. So they gave me their password. I went on Facebook. I looked at the messages. I'm like, okay, wow, okay. They were friends and they knew each other. They were like, go to her videos and you will see not only did she out Jamal, who she's now saying was this DL guy that she walked in on, but she had several other videos where she was outing other people, and she had been in at least like 3 other shootouts within the time of her death. I think it was like 7 months of her death that she talked about. And on those live videos where she talked about it, she's naming other individuals.
Imagine the little ass nigga, this little ass nigga Mario. Nigga, you pissy, broke, poor, pathetic, wannabe nigga. Fuck you. Or you little dusty ass bitch. I hate a whole broke down ass, nothing ass, leech ass nigga. Nothing worse than a leech ass, pissy ass motherfucking nigga. Does anybody know this nigga? He's from off Medford. You're shooting at my motherfucking rental. You're so jealous.
Okay, so as you can see, she names the guy by name and she calls him Mario. And as you know, the guy from the DL video, his name was Jamal. So as you can see, she just said that this guy was shooting at her rental.
You're so mad. You're so mad. You're so mad. Trying to leech off me. He apparently thought that he was going to be my partner. Where? I know it's you. You need a motherfucking knock it off, Monkey Joe. The nigga who got busted is the same motherfucking nigga that used to come on Orchard that sent me out west. And I just know something that you just know. Like, I know this nigga put him up to it. I know he did. I'm just saying. That's what I'm saying. You sitting crackheads to do a hit? What's up? God. Not on top of the other chain event that happened earlier. I'm not even going to discuss that. Gunshots and everything happened earlier. I don't know. It's been a whole bunch. Been a whole bunch recently. They hating on the kid. That's what I'm saying. This little town. I'm getting too big for this little town. That's okay.
They were like, in addition to that, she had a lot of enemies. She would get into it with a lot of people. But in addition to that, this story that she walked in on him and he was DL is not the truth. So I'm like, okay, she said she knew her. That checked out. I looked in the page. They had messages. I looked at Janae's page, the videos that she said was there. It all checked out. And I'm like, okay. So then I started getting messages almost a month later, after the woman had already gave me the scoop on what really happened. Then there was another person close to the situation who also gave me the scoop as well. They contacted me on Facebook, and I'm like, okay, this person told me this information. Another person corroborated that information, and they was willing to send me all the receipts. And I'm like, listen, I already got the receipts, so you don't have to send them to me or whatever. But I felt like it was two totally different people who were not, talking to each other, because if they would already know that I got all of this receipts from the other person that I had been in contact with. This totally other person writes me and they're like, listen, I know the scoop. I can send you the receipts. I can send you da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, okay. Then I got a message from another individual, I think even before that, and they had sent me a video of Janae's friends driving to the car crash. So as they were going to the car crash, they were discussing what really happened, because she had went on live. She said that she had found them in this compromising position, and that that wasn't the truth. So in the video, they're driving up to where her car was wrecked, and they're like, listen, it was all a tax scheme, and she let somebody use her taxes or use her kids on her taxes. They failed to pay her in the time that she felt like the taxes would have came. And because she did not get payment when she felt like she should have, she threatened them like, listen, y'all pay me my money or I am going to blast these people. And as you can see, 2 days before she did the exposed video, she was trying to get in contact with Jamal, who had basically been blowing her off or whatever, to call her back. 2 days later, she did the exposed video. And then the next day after that, she was deceased.
Police believe this all started with gunfire 2 blocks north of this intersection. They are looking at video in this case. Officers found a woman who had been shot prior to crashing.
We have one confirmed adult female who has been shot. She was transported to the hospital, and she succumbed to her injuries there and passed away at the hospital.
People who recognize the shooting victim's car believe a controversial social media post is all to blame.
Janae let him foul the 2 kids. So they got into it. And so the cousin Jamal was supposed to pay her for that. But first she posted a picture of the dude. She told Monica to get on the picture and comment. Monica said, no, I'm not getting in there. Long story short, the dude's not gay. That was made up.
Yeah, she made it up.
She was
lying. She told me like, damn!
Last night.
Oh my God, Lord Jesus.
Janae let him foul the 2 kids. So they got into it. And so the cousin Jamal was supposed to pay her for that. But first she posted a picture of the dude. She told Monica to get on the picture and comment. Monica said, no, I'm not getting in there. Long story short, the dude's not gay. That was made up.
Yeah, she made it up. She lying. She told me like, damn!
Last night.
Oh my God, Lord Jesus.
Okay, so as you see that, when she died, her friends were discussing this, and they were saying how she told them the night before that it was a lie. A person contacted me, and they're like, listen, this is a lie. They run down the whole scoop to me. They give me their password. They tell me how this was really about taxes. And they gave me the videos, the receipts, anything that I wanted about this to verify that they were the real deal. They sent it to me. Then there was another person who reached out to me and was like, hey, this is a lie. But they was a little hostile. And I'm like, pipe down, baby. Okay. And they sent me the video and they was like, you need to share this video. Whoop. And I was like, pipe down. Don't tell me what I need to share and whatever, So then on top of that, within that same week of her death, then my source told me, listen, it's a lot going on. She had a daughter. her daughter's boyfriend just got killed. And I'm just like, ooh, she got killed. Then within a week of her death, then her daughter's boyfriend gets killed. And her daughter's like she was younger. Her boyfriend is younger. So I'm like, is this, correlating together? Like, what's going on? My source was like, it's just so much going on. La, da, da. So I went live and I'm like, listen, I'm not going to tell y'all all of the info. I'm just going to tell y'all that she had multiple enemies as she did. And I was getting more information coming in. Then about almost a month later, then another person came forward to me telling me that it was all a lie. They're like, Neek, it's all a lie. She was, doing this tax thing or no, they didn't even say tax thing, but they said, it was, they had business that they were doing, et cetera, and she got mad because, the situation didn't pan out and she plotted to out them. So I'm like, okay. And they were like, I can send you all of the receipts. So I'm like, okay, the person who's my source, they already sent me all the receipts. So if they know this person, they know that I already got the receipts. So why would they tell me that they're going to send me receipts that the person that I've been, talking with already sent me? So I'm like, let me think about this. So then I'm getting more information about this whole tax scheme, about how, she was mad because she didn't get paid, et cetera, and how she came up with this idea to go and say that they had basically, she had caught them getting the fudge waxed off of the dude and all this stuff like that. And when I went back and listened to the story, I'm like, When I listened to it, she alleged that Jamal, the guy that she was outing, was at his uncle's house. Okay? So he's at his uncle's house, meaning, number one, that's not his house. He's at his uncle's house. Number two, she's saying a man that she thought was the cousin was the one who was getting his fudge knocked out of his boomerang, pootie-tang, tippy-tang, like that. She says that she drove up to the house close enough to the front door. She went and tried to open the door and it was open. She goes in the door and immediately when she opens the door, then she sees him getting the fudge knocked out of his wang, whatever. And so I'm like, so he's around the living room area. He is busting the fudge out of somebody. It's not his home. He's supposed to be straight, but he's doing DL activities, but he's a hood dude, and he leaves the door open to where she can come in and open the door and bust them. And she only had just left, like she had just left. She was there. She left something there. Mind you, she said that she's calling her phone back to back. They're not answering. So I'm like, okay. So in the midst of her leaving, her phone's ringing back to back, but she gets down the road and then they're already banging in the uncle's house with the door unlocked that quick. I started to think about it and I'm like, when you really think about it, it does sound fabricated.
We were doing some business, me and this dude. Now, I'm going to tell you, he did give me some head way back a long time ago. Long time ago, I was doing some business with this nigga, right? Hold on. I grabbed what I came to get or whatever. He's like, come on over here to my uncle's house or whatever. Boom. Familiar with your uncle's house. Had been over there before once or twice or something like that. You know what I mean? So I had grabbed whatever, but I'm in a rush because I got to get back to the shop or whatever, or whatnot. So, boom. I'm riding down the street. I'm damn near to the tire shops on 16th Street. I'm like, I don't let my phone. So I start calling my phone, and I start calling his phone, and when nobody answering on my shop phone, I got a little flip. That's my shop phone, right? So, girl, yeah. So I'm on my little shop flip phone, and I'm like, boom, calling my cell phone, calling his phone. He ain't want nobody answer. So I'm like, damn. So now I done got back over there. I done parked right up by the front door, though. Thank God, because they chased me out of there. They was trying to kill me. Oh, my God. My stomach hurts. My stomach hurts. When I walked in there, y'all, what I seen with my own two eyes. Hold on. Thank God my phone was sitting on the table right there by the door. I swung that door open. I said, oh. And I couldn't even talk the words. I couldn't get the words out of my mouth, right? So I'm like, I'm trying to breathe. I'm like, and I just looked down and see my phone. I snatched my phone. I said, if you don't cash at me in the next hour, I'm telling the whole goddamn city what the fuck's going on. I told them just cash at me 5 bands.
Okay, so as you listen to that, what do y'all think? Because once I thought about it, I'm like, this sounds suspect. She said it was his uncle's house, but they just getting it on where you could just open the door and see him. Now, men are horn dogs, and they do be having suspect activities, so I will not say for a fact that he was not with the extras of the extras. But when you listen to the story of how it came about, it's like, this is not his house. You open a door and they immediately getting it on. You hadn't even left that long. You know, you drove down the street, you come back, you calling his phone, you calling your phone. So obviously he's probably thinking like that you might be returning back. He leaves the door open, you open up the door and things like that. I'm like, I don't know. He could be fruity in the booty, but this also sounds like it could be a revenge plot to try to out them as well. Now, I don't want to reveal my source, so I will just read what people said publicly about this. That basically corroborates exactly what my source said. So I get to tell y'all what my source said without revealing my source because people felt like they wanted to post it publicly. So a man went on a post or a group page that was dedicated to Janae, and he basically spilled the beans, okay? He said the following. I have known Janae for years and had to cut ties with her in 2013. She really had a mental condition and needed help years. I would hear things she did and every story just got worse. I knew something bad would happen to her one day. The real truth is she and Jamal's cousin did a tax scheme. She let him carry her children on his taxes. Anyone who knows you can't get along with her too long. She thought he already got the money back, but he didn't. So they got into an argument. He said he wasn't paying her ish. Then Jamal told her he would pay her since he plugged her in with the cousin, but only once he got the money from the taxes. No one has got tax money back that filed children. She demanded the money ASAP. Then she made up the whole story of catching them. It was all a lie. Now, them trying to off her and chasing her may have happened because this girl will push you to the limits. Talk about your kids, your mama, your grandma, stalk your house, your job, everything. Print obituaries with your face on it. No one has ever considered that she flat out lied.
Janae let him foul the 2 kids. So they got into it. And so the cousin Jamal was supposed to pay her for it. So first she posted a picture of the dude. She told Monica to get on the picture and comment. Monica said, no, I'm not getting in there. Long story short, the dude's not gay. That was made up.
Yeah, she made it up.
She was made up.
She told me like, damn!
Last night.
Oh my God, Lord Jesus.
Okay, so as you see that, word around town in Indianapolis was this whole DL video was a farce in that it really was just a woman who was mad and trying to get back. Now, if you guys remember back to 2020, this was, I believe 2020 was the beginning of the pandemic, right? And in February, even before it was announced that we were under this extreme lockdown, because I think we kind of got noticed that we really had to be on lockdown in March. But even before that, there was a lot of delays with taxes. I know a lot of my family members who have filed taxes were not receiving their taxes, or, when they supposedly said there was a lot of delays with the taxes in 2020. So when I'm hearing this information And this situation happened on February 17th. So by then, if you filed your taxes in January, in normal cases, you probably would have already gotten your money. But in 2020, there was a lot of delays, and a lot of people, it took them like months, like month and a half or more to get their taxes. I started to think like, it could have some merit to it. Now, when I got this information, in the same breath, I got the information that, there's this fraudulent tax scheme. There's this guy named Jamal that she outed. She ends up dead. Her daughter's boyfriend ends up dead. She has multiple enemies and things like that. And so I'm like, listen, I'm not going to reveal the tax fraud information and da-da-da-da. There was rumors about the Jamal guy and how he was and da-da-da-da. And I'm like, she already done outed him. Those is not my words. I'm not going to further, get him in situation, because then, you got social media who would then, they will report the person for fraud and, all kind of stuff like that. Like, because people were already going to his page and doing the most. So I'm like, for my safety, I'm not going to add extras on the fraud part and, reveal that. People are dropping around. I'm not going to do that. But now, fast forward 2022, there has been an update as it pertains to the suspect who she outed in the video, Jamal. So 4 weeks ago, I got tagged in a Facebook post that alerted us about a killing of a Hawville individual. Jamal Carter is now sharing the same fate as Janae. So being that she can't get in trouble for the fraud scheme, he can't get in trouble for the fraud scheme because they're both deceased, I decided, you know what? I'm just going to let the whole thing out about the situation and bring you guys up to speed. But as it pertains to Jamal, the guy she outed, let me bring you guys the info on that.
Metro police are investigating 3 deadly shootings in the last 16 hours. Wow. The most recent happened just after 2 this afternoon on North Holmes, just north of Walnut. That's where police found a man dead in a field behind the backyard of a home.
The victim has been identified as 41-year-old Jamal Carter Sr., a man who was found fatally shot Thursday afternoon in a residential area on the city's west side, Indianapolis, police says. Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department was called to report of a person shot just after 2:15 p.m. Thursday in the 700 block of North Holmes Avenue, according to dispatch information. The location where police were sent is the address of Eden Missionary Baptist Church and Eden Neighborhood Developmental Court, according to the online information. Medics were sent about the same time to a gunshot scene unsafe at a home near the church, online dispatch information showed. The incident happened in what IMPD Officer William Young described as a field directly behind the backyard of a home in North Carolina Avenue. The house is across the street from a church. It says a suspect has not been arrested, and the police urged anyone with information to call Detective Brian Lambert of the Homicide Investigation Unit. And it says there is no active threat to the community, Young said. IMPD initially said the person was in critical condition, but a few minutes later sent an update that the person had died. Now, it's funny that I believe that the person who is the detective of Janae's case, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this Brian Lambert is the same person that I called to get information, who's now on the case of Jamal. All right, so I feel like that pretty much sums up the update. I told you guys what really is alleged to have happened. I shared with you guys why I withheld the information. I shared with you guys what I was told from my sources, and I revealed the most recent information that the suspect who was suspected of offing her is now off himself. And it's crazy because within a year of this story, I called the detective and I'm like, is there any updates? No, there was nobody arrested. And he had gone free for all this time, as there was a lot of moving parts. It wasn't just him as her enemy. She had multiple enemies. It wasn't just, a simple outing of the DL situation. That was a lie. And it was more components and compartments to it. There was this alleged cousin who was also a part to it. And it was also depending on like what the alibi was. I was told that this alleged cousin was from Atlanta, and he wasn't from Indianapolis. So at the time, was he there? Is that why he wasn't arrested? Was he in Atlanta? It was just a lot of moving parts. Did Jamal have an alibi? Like, what's the tea on that? The detective didn't tell me that much information. He just told me, listen, we don't have any suspects in at this time, and nobody had gotten arrested, and nobody still has been arrested as far as I know for the death of Janae. Now it appears that the same officer who I believe his name was Brian Lambert. I believe that's him. I got to look at my notes, but I believe that's a detective. Now, the same detective is in charge of this guy. It's just a crazy, crazy, crazy thing. But that's the update. I didn't want you guys spoiling it in the comments by telling people like, oh, we know the tea. We know that, Jamal got offed, because that's not all to the story. So I didn't want people thinking that they already knew, when I posted that I was going to be covering this on my community tab. I didn't want people thinking that they already knew all the info and not click the video, because I got info that y'all have not been seeing in any other video. Y'all have not seen the video of the friends arriving to the crime scene at any other blogger's video. I've seen more than the blogger who posted about this yesterday videos. Nobody has posted that information. So I'm like, you know what? Let me give them the real update. Okay. And I don't want y'all spoiling it in the midst of me trying to get to it, period. But that's just that on that. It's a sad situation altogether. My condolences go out to her children, as they are now left without a mother. On top of that, I hope that whoever is responsible, if it was not Jamal, be brought to justice. A lot of people were saying, you know what? Eye for an eye, it was karma. I really don't know. It's a lot of different things that was going on. A lot of people that she was beefing with. A whole lot of. So whoever is responsible, if it wasn't him, hopefully they get brought to justice as soon as possible, so that her children can get closure on this situation. If it is Jamal who was a part of it, well, now he's out of here as well. So, I mean, I don't know, but that's the update. Now, y'all all know that y'all always can support me by going to my website and shopping www.neekatnight.com. Now, over on my website, I have a bunch of different goodies, and thank y'all for all the people who have been supporting my website through my Cyber Week sale and through these years that I have been having my website open. You guys have been so phenomenal. I appreciate y'all so much. But on my website, I have pajamas, robes, sexy little, lingeries, lingerie, things like that. I have adult goodies. I have card games that you could play with your man. And I have really discreet, toys and things like that that you can partake in with your partner or by yourself or whatever. I have women, toys. I have men toys. I got the whole shebang, kit and caboodle. So definitely go check out my website, www.neekatnight.com, and see what is suitable for you. Let me know if you expected this as the update. Let me know what you guys think down below. And I guess I'll catch you guys on another video.